I watched this video from tommyinnit this morning. I think it's his newest video. Never watched a tommyinnit video before, ever. No offense to him in any way, shape, or form, but I didn't play Minecraft for the first time until like maybe 2 years ago. So anyway, he was talking about how YouTube has changed so much since he started like 6 or 7 years ago. He basically talked about how YouTube has kind of lost its creativity and like originality. I don't know if I said that right, but like everything's kind of the same. The thumbnails are all kind of the same, topics kind of the same, and it's not like regular people doing what they like to do in a really cool or creative way, or just even in a relatable way. And I've really been thinking a lot about this myself with my own content recently. So thank you, tommyinnit, for giving me the courage to start this new series called Yap and Build. I'm gonna yap about different things while I build and furnish stuff in The Sims because I like doing it. So I'm starting a new save file and I want to make her a new apartment, and I just really like furnishing apartments. So I am redoing Pinecrest Apartments number 404. And this is the layout I'm going with. I don't have any script for this video, and I don't plan on ever having scripts for these videos. I just kind of want to talk and do something that I like doing while I do it. So that tommyinnit video like really hit everything on the head for me in regards to what I have kind of been feeling with content in general recently. So for a little background lesson, I have been creating content for about 3 years now. I started on Twitch and really enjoyed live streaming very, very much. I got up to averaging like 10 to 15 viewers pretty quickly, which doesn't seem like very much, but on Twitch it really is. And then I started posting content on other platforms. I got into TikTok, and my TikTok has done really well. That's actually where I have the most followers. And like I said, I really, really liked live streaming, but at the time I had a different job that was very, very stressful. I was the manager of a very high stress program that I can talk about some other time if you'd like. So streaming was always kind of hard for me to stay consistent with because of my job. My schedule was kind of all over the place and it was just really high stress. So I'd get home and have no energy to stream. So I would cancel all the time and stuff. And it was not a good time. So in July of last year, so 2023, I decided to start doing YouTube videos because that felt more sustainable to me. And honestly, y'all, it's been one of the best decisions I've made regarding my content stuff. I love YouTube. I have been way more consistent with putting out videos than I ever was at live streaming. And I do really miss Twitch and live streaming and stuff. I even live stream on YouTube for a little bit. And I do really like it, but I know myself and I just don't have the energy to maintain consistent YouTube uploads with streaming. But anyway, so like the first 6 months, like I feel like I was really just learning YouTube and like learning kind of the algorithm and a little bit about what works and what doesn't work. And in the last few months, I've definitely been like more heavily researching things, I guess really trying to optimize things for the platform. So like looking at like the outliers and 1 out of 10 to find like those really unique ideas and replicate them, and looking at trying to look at my analytics and see like what does well and can I redo that in some sort of way. And in my year-ish of being on here, I have switched niches several times already. I started with indie horror games and like lots of Five Nights at Freddy's, and that was fun. And I really liked those games, but I found myself like getting really stressed because I am a scaredy cat. So like I would get really anxious playing those games. And I found that it brought in a younger audience, which I didn't really like. I forgot what the names of these counters were to try to find the matching shelves. So then I found Subnautica, which is considered kind of like a horror game, but it's indie, and that's how I kind of got into it. And I love Subnautica. So I was primarily doing that for a long time. And then I decided to pivot to Sims content because I have been playing The Sims since the original Sims 1 came out when I was like in middle school. Honest to God, I think I have bought every single game The Sims has ever released, like all the expansion packs for every generation. Like I really think I have. But I love The Sims. I hadn't played it in actually a really long time before I started making content on it, but now I am like heavily addicted to it and I don't regret that decision at all. Still playing Subnautica, and I hope that maybe I can branch out and do more kind of variety things, but I'm happy doing this right now. But what I have found since changing to mostly Sims content, because like I really, really want to grow this channel and I would like to make this like a good income source for myself. You know, I do. And just researching more and seeing like what works and what doesn't work. Like The game has so changed since when I was watching YouTube in college. So when I was in college, that was when like Let's Plays were at like their peak. That's when Markiplier and Jacksepticeye and PewDiePie, that's when they were all like at their peak. Actually, I take that back. It wasn't college. It was like right after college. I'm not that old. And obviously, YouTube has changed since then, especially in the gaming world. But what I have really found recently is that like people are not unique anymore. Like it really is the same ideas, the same concepts, the same thumbnails, the same editing styles over and over. Like that's what I'm seeing in like the higher performing videos. And that's not just in like The Sims either. Like I'm seeing it in almost every niche that I've looked into. Like I've even done it myself. If you looked back, I've done some building challenges, so it's like every single Sims player does those building challenges. And I'm not saying that's a bad thing. I'm not saying it's a bad thing to reiterate what works, you know, what's a proven formula. But what sucks with that is you don't see like originality. Or maybe not even that. Maybe it's more of like, you just see people chasing more viewers, more money, more exposure. And I get it, like that's fine. I mean, I'm after those things too. But I guess somewhere along the way, it feels like people kind of just lost the joy of creating and connecting just to chase the numbers. And it's like people are really hesitant to get out of their safe zone and like what they know works. So for instance, like Let's Plays don't really perform that well unless you have an existing audience, and that's fine. So what I have learned is that at first you definitely want to load up on like educational content or like how-tos because that's evergreen and it gets more people to your channel. And then hopefully they like your personality and they'll check out some of that other content, or at least that's been what I've been doing anyway. And for me personally, I like making educational content. I was an adjunct professor for a little bit at a university. I've been in several management positions. Like I like to teach, I like to share knowledge. My TikTok, if you've ever checked that out, I really got my start by just doing like primarily streamer tips. So like, I don't mind that, but I found myself even like not wanting to get out of the educational bubble because I didn't want to negatively impact views. I really cannot decide how I want this kitchen set up. I think this wall is just like kind of throwing me off, so I'm getting rid of it for now. And like, you can definitely bring your personality into like your educational content, but it is a bit harder. But then I have kind of found myself the last few weeks when I've been like trying to make ideas, like I have felt really uninspired because I just feel like, not that my videos recently haven't been me, but I've just really felt like at the mercy of the algorithm, if that makes sense, and me making things to please the algorithm and not because I really, really enjoy making it or something like that. Again, not saying like I haven't enjoyed making my recent content, because I have. I've loved making the Sims content and Subnautica, even though I need to make more Subnautica content. I guess what I'm trying to say in this vent is that I'm tired of making videos just to please the algorithm and not make the things that I really want to make or feel inspired to make, the things that don't like are safe. I am tired of doing that. Yes, there is a place for all of that. I understand why we do it. Am I saying that I'm never going to make something that won't go along with the algorithm and make it happy, or something that I know is going to get me views or like evergreen content? No, I'm not saying that. I will still do those things, but I want to do things that are different. Because I feel like you almost like don't have permission to do those things. Like if you want the views, if you want the money, everyone says you got to do, you know, these things, you know, copy what everyone else is doing. And again, it's fine to an extent, but I have like lost my soul doing it, I feel like, in a way. So I'm not doing that anymore. And like this, like, I don't know of anyone else that, you know, builds in The Sims, but they talk about their builds. They don't really talk about other things. So like the last few weeks while I've been contemplating it, I've been like, oh my God, what the fuck? I've been like really wanting to do it, but I'm like, no one else does it. That's not going to get any views, blah, blah, blah. And that's like the exact thinking that I want to get out of. I cannot decide. I can never decide on bar stools. I don't know why. I'm so picky. I've been thinking about this for a while too. And I even put like polls on all of my social media asking people like, do you want to see more personality things? Like, does that matter to you? Or do you think people should strictly stay in their niche? The majority response for all of those polls were, I don't care. If I want to watch it, I'll watch it. If I don't, I don't. It doesn't matter to me if it's in the niche or not. And then a lot of people saying like, I care more about usually the creator. So yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing something else from them that's maybe not their usual niche. So I think seeing that really kind of like solidified it for me that yes, do the things that you want to do. Even if you don't think it's going to do anything in the algorithm or bring you views or money or anything, just do it because you have a good time doing it. And that's really important here. Like the whole reason that I got into content creation in the first place was one, to have a creative outlet and a hobby, because I did not for the longest time. I love these counters, but they are very, very annoying because there's not like a corner piece. Okay, I guess that works. But I hate when it glitches like that. Damn it. Oh, maybe if I wasn't using the accent counter and using the actual counter, that would be helpful. Whoopsies. I guess that's what I get for yapping and doing this at the same time. But you know what? I'm having fun. This is nice. So that is kind of the direction of this channel. I don't even know if I would call it like a direction. So I guess what I'm really trying to say is that I'm still going to continue to make like the educational content like I have been doing because I like doing that. But I do want to incorporate more Let's Plays, more of these just kind of relaxed, non-scripted videos because I enjoy doing them. I don't want to lose my spark for content and for YouTube. And I'm afraid that by becoming a slave to the algorithm, essentially, that is a big possibility to happen. And I think that happens to a lot of people when you're just chasing the views and chasing the numbers. And I don't want to do that. Even if this doesn't become a full-time sustainable something and I have to give it up eventually, I want to have a good time while I'm here. One thing that I really miss about Twitch is that it was definitely easier to build those relationships with your viewers because it's real time and there's a chat that you're responding to. It was a lot easier. I feel like, yeah, I've been able to make some connections here on YouTube, but it's definitely, it's harder, it's different. So I hope that maybe these kinds of videos will maybe help with some of that feeling. And I really like yapping. I think that's why I enjoyed Twitch so much, is because I like to talk. I like to talk to people and, just yap. My best streams and my favorite streams to do were literally just chatting, where I didn't really have an agenda at all. I just booted up stream and whatever happened. Then I started making that like more formulated and feeling like I always had to have a game plan for it and like a solid schedule, and I had to follow this or it wasn't going to be a successful stream. And it really took a lot of the joy out of streaming too. So not only like energy level and just like really stressful job, like I was saying at the time that I had, but just I think that just coupled with the energy and stuff, like it just fizzled out streaming for me. So I guess that's my big takeaway from this whole ramble, is that the more I pressure myself into feeling like I have to be perfect with content, and that's a whole other thing that I want to talk about sometime, is perfectionism and all that fun stuff. But anyway, the more pressure I put on myself, the more that just takes the joy out of the creating for me. And that's not what I want to do. So again, thanks tommyinnit for giving me the confidence and the sign that I needed to pursue something that might not do well on YouTube, but I don't really care because I enjoy this and I want to foster that connection with people that take the time out of their day to come here and watch my videos, because that means a lot. It does. I was hoping I'd at least finish the kitchen in this video, but I did not. I have a hard time multitasking, so I might not finish builds during this, but that is totally fine because I have a lot of ideas for Yap sessions and a lot of things that I want to talk about. And if there's things that you want to talk about or questions or whatever, please put those in the comments, because I do read all of my comments. I might not respond to all of them. I try my best, but I do. And I just want to make this a good, relaxing time. So thank you for tuning in to the first Yap and Build, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.